Hello, everybody. Welcome to our mental health series with a biblical perspective. Today, I want to talk about career trauma. We know there are all kinds of traumas that people go through in life, whether it's from accidents, from abuses, from trouble in their family. People go through traumas. Our jobs also play a very big part in our lives, and it can cause us career trauma. The word trauma itself comes from the Greek word wounds, basically wounds of the heart. Think about it. Have your job causes you to have wounds in your heart? First, let me define the word career trauma. Career trauma is an injury that occurs when an individual experiences a traumatic event in the workplace, such as harassment, bullying, or being passed over for promotion. Career trauma can even happen without any direct incident if your job doesn't provide you with enough of what you need from it, like money, security, fulfillment, or support. That's the definition of career trauma. We all can and might have career trauma in our lives. Because work, as I said earlier, is a very big part of our life. We spend more than half our lives in our job place. So, how do you know you have career trauma? You find it hard to sleep. You find that you have recurring painful thoughts about your job. Or when you think about similar events, when you think about going to work, there's anxieties and fear. You are easily irritable when you come home from your job. You will withdraw. You lack joy when you think about work. That work that you were so happy about when you first got it, but now you seem to withdraw and you do not have joy about your job. Or some of us might feel numb. These are some symptoms that are the symptoms of career trauma. Let's read in the Bible, the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 1 to 2. And let's see how Jesus feels about wounds and traumas that are inflicted to us. And then Jesus will give us some solution how to overcome this particular mental health issue. In verse 1, Jesus said to his disciples, "Things that cause people to stumble are bound to come, but woe to anyone through whom they come. It would be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble." So Jesus was angry. He says things that causes people to stumble, wounds, pains, trial, it will come. But woe to the one that it comes from. God does not like situations and events that causes us to have those types of wounds and pain and traumas in our life. Of course, some of us might have major traumas, and some of us might have minor traumas. But it's important for us to recognize that you might have career traumas. So we have to learn to be aware of this. So how do we overcome if you have or if you are suffering from career trauma? Again, it could be major or it could be minor. Let's go to verse 3. We're going to see a few points here where Jesus teaches how to overcome. In verse 3 it says, "So watch yourself." Or other version says, "Take heed for yourself." Be careful for yourself. God is not just saying, be careful not to cause trauma, but He's also saying, be careful when traumas come to your life. So the first aspect of overcoming trauma is awareness. Brothers and sisters, we need to be aware. You need to be aware whether you are suffering from any form of career trauma. And if you don't, you find yourself happy, joyful in your workplace, you look forward to go, hey, you do not have that career trauma. But if you do, be aware of it. Don't push it away. Sometimes as disciples, we have a tendency of being self-sacrificial, or we have a tendency of, yes, let's tolerate, let's take the pain. Well, you can take the pain, but be aware that you might be suffering from this particular issue. So what are some of the things that Jesus would want you to do? Right? He says, be aware, watch yourself. So one aspect of that is what? Once you know that you might have been suffering from career trauma, whether major or minor, decide to take care of yourself. Go get help. Find solutions. Find people who are mature that you can talk to, that can help you overcome your sufferings. Don't deny it. Don't be numb. Don't push it away. When you deny all those painful emotions, your heart will lose the joy. And then secondly, identify. Identify the source of that trauma. It could be the fear of being let go, job insecurity. Or it could be you were let go or you had to quit from a job that you love very much. This is your dream job. This is your job that you really care for, and then you were fired. Or you had decided to quit. And so there's a lot of pain. And you need to deal with that grief, that trauma in your heart. Or it could be workplace abuse or a toxic workplace. Is there a lot of abuse? Is your environment where you work in toxic? Or it could be work divorce. What does that mean? You see somebody, your colleague that you care for, somebody that is very important to you, leave the company because of job-related problem. And so you have what we call work divorce. You feel the pain. You cannot understand. Why did this colleague leave? What's happening? Or it could be a death of your colleagues, or it could be a disaster in your workplace. But whatever it is, identify. Jesus says what? Be aware. Watch yourself. So that what? You can overcome career trauma if you're suffering from it. Then he goes on in the second part of verse 3. If your brother or your sister sins against you, rebuke them. And if they repent, forgive them. Even if they sin against you 7 times a day, and 7 times come back to you saying, I repent, you must forgive them. So what is the next aspect? God says, if someone is causing you suffering, pain and wounds, rebuke them. Well, what he's saying, he's not saying go out there, be angry, yell at them. He's saying what? Make your stand. Take courage. Be strong. Do not let anyone push you around. Sometimes because of our job, we fear losing our job. We dare not make that stand. We don't have that courage to speak up. So what are some of the things that we can do to take that stand? Number one, set boundaries. Don't let somebody cross over your boundary. Boundaries are there to protect us. Number 2, learn to speak up. Learn to take that courage. Be vulnerable. Talk about your pain. And tell the other person not to keep doing what they are doing. Speak up. And you find when you speak up, you have that courage to make a stand for what you believe in, your heart will also heal. And if all things fail, disconnect. If the environment doesn't change, disconnect. If the situation is still toxic, disconnect. Sometimes we need to just disconnect from the situation so that our wounds will not get deeper and deeper and deeper. So what is the third way we can deal with this particular trauma, career trauma? Forgiveness. Of course, God talks about forgiveness for the other person over here. If the other person repents or change and stop causing wounds in your heart, forgive. Learn to forgive. Don't hold grudges. Don't have bad attitudes. Learn to let go of that hatred. Okay, of course, as we talked about earlier, rebuke them, talk to them, speak up. But after that, learn to forgive. Forgiveness heals the heart. And there's another aspect about forgiveness. Learn to forgive yourself. Sometimes that trauma comes from yourself. You are actually putting yourself down. You're actually blaming yourself for the job situation, for the toxic environment that is actually not caused by yourself. You look down on yourself, you blame yourself, you criticize yourself for being powerless, for not being able to handle that situation. Learn to forgive yourself. Of course, repent and change and learn to speak up and stand up for what's right, but learn to forgive yourself because you are not the fault of the problem. The situation, the people they are dealing with, they are the one that's causing the wound. So don't put those blames onto you. Forgive yourself. Finally, in verse 5, the disciples came and said to the Lord, increase our faith. What is the final solution? Go to God. Go to God in prayer. Give your worries, your anxieties, your wound, your pains to the Father in heaven who loves you and cares for you. God will help you through those sufferings and pain for any traumas in your life. Now, if your trauma caused by your job is really serious and you find yourself not being able to overcome, go get professional help. This is very important. Go find a counselor, find a psychiatrist, get help to deal with trauma. Trauma is real. Career trauma can happen. And as I said, the good news is God do give us some solution to overcome. We talk about awareness. We got to watch ourselves, identify those traumas, learn to decide to take care of ourselves. And secondly, make that stand. Rebuke. Don't let people cause you suffering. Thirdly, forgive, whether the other person or yourself. And then finally, have faith. Go to God. Thank you very much. I'll see you again. Bye.